All right, let's be real. If you've been feeling even a little bit anxious about, the state of the world, you're definitely not alone. But what if we could flip that feeling on its head? What if we could turn that anxiety into a sense of agency, of control? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to explore. We're diving into this incredibly practical Polish survival guide that distills some heavy, real-world experience into a super clear, actionable plan that honestly, anyone can use.
And this saying really sets the tone for everything we're going to talk about. It's a Polish military saying that goes, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And that is the core philosophy right there. This isn't about scaring people or panic. It's just simple, pragmatic foresight. It's a total mindset shift, right? It takes you from feeling like a victim of circumstance to being in charge of your own safety.
And you got to understand, the advice in this guide, it's not theoretical. It comes from some really intense firsthand experience. The author was a volunteer in Mariupol, right on the front lines, and he saw it with his own eyes what happens when all the systems we take for granted just break down. And what he learned was just so powerful. It wasn't the big heroic acts that made the difference. It was the simple, kind of boring preparations. It was neighbors just helping each other out.
Okay, Section 1, a world unpredictable. So, why are we even talking about this? Why does it matter right now? Well, because the unpredictable, it's kind of becoming our new normal. And we're not talking about some far-off abstract threat. Nope, we're talking about things that are happening right now, probably a lot closer to home than most of us think.
I mean, just take a look at this timeline from Poland. Just in the last couple of decades, you've got these devastating floods. You've got major regional blackouts. We're seeing more and more severe storms, and even wildfires. And of course, things we're all familiar with now, cyber attacks and the pandemic. See, these aren't just what-if scenarios. They're real, tangible events that have turned thousands of lives upside down.
And this is where it gets really interesting. This chart shows a huge gap. On one hand, the risks are going up, but on the other, our readiness is, well, it's alarmingly low. According to Poland's Government Center for Security, get this, more than 60% of people don't even have basic supplies to last 3 days, and an absolutely staggering 78%, almost 8 out of 10 people, have no family emergency plan whatsoever. All right, Section 2, responsibility, not panic. Now I know, hearing stats like that can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. It's easy to just want to shut down, but this is where the guide offers a really powerful way to reframe things. The goal here isn't to give in to that fear. It's all about taking back control, and you do that by shifting your whole perspective.
Honestly, if there's one single idea you take away today, let it be this. Preparation does not mean panic. It means responsibility. It's so simple, but it changes everything. It reframes the entire goal. Suddenly, it's not about being scared. It's about being responsible. For yourself, for your family, even for your community. And that feeling, it transforms that sense of helplessness into a real sense of purpose.
And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the two paths we can take. On one side, you've got panic. It's pure chaos. It's reactive, and it pretty much guarantees you'll make bad decisions when you're under pressure. But on the other side, you have preparation. It's proactive. It brings a sense of calm, of control, and honestly, just the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've actually done what you can.
Okay, Section 3, your first actionable steps. So this brings us to the big one, right? The crucial question, how do we actually get started? And this is where this guide is just brilliant. It takes this huge, overwhelming idea of preparedness and breaks it down into small, totally manageable actions that you can literally do today.
So where do you actually begin? I mean, this is the question that paralyzes most of us, right? The whole thing seems so massive that we don't even know where to grab on, so we end up doing nothing at all. But the guide just cuts through all of that, simplifies it beautifully, and moves us right from theory to here's what you do right now. And here you go. This is it, your starting roadmap. Just 3 simple steps. See? You don't need some crazy underground bunker or a warehouse full of supplies. You just start right here. Step 1, make a plan with your family. Step 2, build a simple 72-hour kit. And step 3, take a few basic steps to secure your home. That's it. Totally manageable, right? So let's dig into that first step, making a family plan. The guide says you really have to plan for 2 main possibilities. The first one is sheltering in place. Basically, what do you do if you have to hunker down at home? That means knowing which room is the safest, making sure you can get to your supplies, that kind of thing. And then there's the second scenario, evacuation. What if you have to get out?
That means you need preset meeting points, one close by, one further away, and you need to have more than one way to get there.
Now for step 2, that 72-hour go bag. Seriously, don't overthink this. Just focus on these absolute essentials. The whole point is to have what you need to get you and your family through those first 3 days. That's usually the most critical window in any crisis. So we're talking water, about 3 liters per person per day, some food that you don't have to cook, a flashlight, extra batteries, a first aid kit with any personal meds you need, a little radio, and copies of your important documents. Simple as that.
Okay, last section, the promise of preparation. So why even bother with all this? What's the real benefit? The guide makes it super clear that the ultimate payoff isn't just about getting through some disaster. No, it's about what happens to you. Right now, in your everyday life, the moment you start taking these small steps.
And this slide, this just says it all. I love this idea. Preparation is not one giant scary project. It's an incremental process. It's one step at a time. And with every single action you take, I mean something as small as buying one extra bottle of water or writing down one emergency contact, you are actively, literally, chipping away at your own anxiety. Every step is one less thing to worry about.
And listen to this. This is a quote from a resident in Sandomierz after a massive flood in 2010. When the water came, there was no time to think. We survived only because I had cans and candles from last summer. That just gives you chills, doesn't it? It perfectly shows the real-world impact. It's not some elaborate plan. It's the cans and candles she happened to have from the summer before. It's those small, responsible choices we make when things are calm that make all the difference when things get chaotic.
So I want to leave you with this one final question. Just for a second, forget all the big lists and the overwhelming plans. What if your journey, your personal shift from feeling anxious to feeling in control, what if your first step toward that feeling of responsibility started today, right now, with just one simple action? What if it all started with just one extra bottle of water?